Hi, happy May 1st. I'm Barbara Schultz. I am the president of No Bad Foods. Today we're going to talk about making our own vegetable broth. Why? First of all, it's cheap, it's easy, it's delicious, and much more nutritious than any store-bought product you could probably find. So, let's get started. What I do is when I am making any sort of vegetable dish, if I have any kind of leftovers, like the ends of asparagus, leftover celery, onion peels, tops of carrots. I even have corn cobs in this bag. So when I'm done cooking the vegetables for the meal, I take these scraps and I put them in a Ziploc bag and I throw them in the freezer. And when I have about 5 or 6 pounds of vegetables, it's time to make broth. So here I have all of these bags of leftover scraps of vegetables, asparagus, some celery, some onion tops, things like that. Just a word about the onions. Because they are so strong, I tend not to use as many, but a few here and there will give it a nice flavor. So very easy. What I do is I'm dumping all of these vegetables into this big stock pot. Here we go. Just dump it in. And if you were going to go rambling across the kitchen, but that's okay. Don't forget to take the rubber band off the asparagus. That would be helpful. White asparagus here. We had that last night. Pretty cool, huh? This pot will probably give you several quarts of vegetable broth. And the vegetable broth, after it's done, and I'll show you, can be frozen for up to 6 months in your freezer. Just think, this doesn't wind up in your trash. This winds up as good soup. The basis for good soup, the basis for any rice dish you want to make, instead of using water, use the vegetable broth. String beans, corn cobs, what else do I have in here? Again, pretty cool. And when you're done with all this, after you've strained it, and I'll show you how we do this, you could actually take what's left in this pot and throw it in your vegetable compost pile. All right, so I'm going to throw some water into the pot, and we're going to get this going. I use just enough water to cover the vegetables. I throw a little bit of peppercorn in there, maybe a tablespoon of peppercorns. And I don't add salt. I'll use salt to taste when I'm making the dish using the vegetable broth. You can use the tops of peppers, green, red, yellow, whatever you like. The seeds won't matter because that'll all be strained out. Add some peppercorns. And here we go, on the stove. So what we're going to do is let this come to a boil, and we're going to let it simmer for about an hour and a half. And then I'll take you through the rest of it. Okay, it has come to a boil, and I'm stirring it up a little bit, and I'm going to put the lid on it and let it simmer for about an hour. Okay, so we're going to drain it and strain it and bundle it up. Just be careful, it's going to be hot. So you continue with this process until it's all in the bowl, and once it's in the big bowl that I've done, then what I do is I take a fine strainer and then put it into the plastic containers. Then when you do that, you want to cool it to room temperature before you freeze it. And I'll show you what this looks like. I have one here while I wait for this to cool off. This is about the size that I use. I mark it on the top, VB, there we go, upside down, whatever. And then you want to put the date on it because this will be good in the freezer for 6 months. If you want to put it in your refrigerator, it'll last about 5 days. So right now this is going to have to cool, but you get the idea. And that's it. And when you're done with all these scraps of vegetables, like I said, you can throw them back into the compost, or you can wait for it to cool down and then just toss it. So you're kind of repurposing the vegetables in possibly 3 different ways. Eating them first, making a broth, and then composting. Your choice. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.